So, welcome to week one review of Eat to Live, Guided Craving Solutions. In this class, I kind of go over the things that are important to from what I have found, to a healthy diet that helps cut out a lot of carbs as well as a lot of sweets and processed foods. And this is, just imagine for a minute, if you had boundless energy and if you had health that was created by the synergy of the things that you do and you eat. And one of the reasons that I have learned to eat the way that I have is, in order for me to feel good, I've really had to do that. I don't feel well if I don't eat well. I get bloating, achy joints, forgetfulness, foggy, sleepy, all kinds of things. So this is my solution, and from what I've learned, to having energy and health. And I talked to a gal today who I've just given her a few reminders about eating right. And I asked, she was cleaning her basement, and I asked her how she was doing, and she was real busy. But she said, really good. I have lots of energy. And I said, eating good really has its benefits. And she said, absolutely. So anyway, this is just to help you with some of the things that I found are beneficial to you. So throughout our lives, as many of you know, we really develop a lot of cravings, things that our parents fed us: candy, treats, cakes, cookies, comfort foods. Mashed potatoes and gravy might be one of them for guys. I don't know if Greg likes beef jerky, lots of salty foods and chips and stuff. So one of the problems that we all have is that we're unique. It's not a problem, but none of us are the same. So you need to identify your weaknesses and the chemicals in your food that when you go without them, you start craving. Soda's really a big one for a lot of average people and people that are trying to stay awake. I use it at times. I'm very sensitive to caffeine, and as a result, I do get some energy from it. But on a normal basis, I try to focus on things that are really cleansing and beneficial to my health. So if you've been on a journey of not eating a lot of good foods for a long time, cleaning your gut is a really big thing that you can work on, and I'm going to give you some skills for that. Also, I'm going to give you some helpful recipes to kind of finish up some things that are just, I feel, will be lifetime things that you can do to keep just little tricks and habits up your sleeve. So if any of you have ever seen the movie Around the World in 80 Days, you might know Phileas Fogg. And he was trying to go around the world, and he was in a steam engine, and he really needed more fuel to keep going. So in order for him to meet his goal, he ordered the crew to tear the boat apart and to burn the wood. To say the least, at the end of the trip, the boat was worthless. And some of us are trying to always get ahead, and by doing that, we're working really hard, but we're supplying our ship with less than enough fuel. And in the process, we're literally breaking down our own bodies to keep going. Our metabolic function from our own health is being used just to keep the nutrition and the cells fed that we need to feed to go, and our serotonin levels where we need to go. So I don't know if any of you have a trouble with sweets, but I've been in nutrition and health my whole life. I studied it in college. I've been very proactive, and yet I've constantly had a battle for sweets. So getting off sugar and soda might not seem like something that I've had to deal with it, but I definitely have. It's been my addict, and there's a lot of different ways you can get off what it is that you need. But if you're on sugar, like a lot of people are, then your gut is not doing well. And 90% of the serotonin used for you to think is made in your gut. So if you're using a lot of sugar, then you're really running on that little bit of dopamine that you get from the sugar, and then you're crashing. And it's just important that you try to help your gut function well so that your brain can function well. Your addiction might be different than mine. So whatever your addiction is what you need to get off of. To feel in control of your diet without constantly having to rely on your willpower is a good thing to have. I mean, if what you're doing works, then I believe that you won't need to use so much willpower. I went off sugar for some period of time, and at a certain period of time after I had felt like I had conquered the world, I passed a dairy display, and they had some cookies and things in it, and there in the corner was a macaroon, and they were huge macaroons, and I really like coconut, so some craving, kind of the smell or something, I gave into, and I tried it, and I just literally crumbled. I mean, it really opened up Pandora's box for me. So first of all, you need to make a conscious decision of what your priorities are, and then you need to really try to stick with them. And I find that choosing foods that are high in nutritional value and making that a priority, and then feeling like you're not insufficient in your nutrition is a really good way to go. So for craving solutions, I recommend just keeping it very simple, keeping your diet full of whole foods, and so you don't feel deprived and that you don't give into the need for sugar. So some people really have a lot of late night cravings or salty and sweet cravings. It's easy to avoid certain foods if you don't have any cravings. But when the ratio of, here's what I wrote here, that when the ratio of the nutrients and for the calories goes up in your food, then you are going to have the greatest benefit to your weight loss. So the more nutrition you have, and the less, doesn't really matter the amount of calories compared to the nutrition for how well you're doing. So if your body is nourished, your cravings are going to go down. So I guarantee that this is not the type of a class that you're going to lose weight fast and then just really go back to your routine and pigging out. I'm hoping to give you some really good skills that will last for your whole life. They have become the mantra that I've lived by. They're just guiding like pillars to me for how to eat. And I try to avoid junk food. We're all drawn to it at times, but I try to keep it to a fierce minimum. So the difference between this program and other programs is that there's just not 30 pounds drop off and then you're right back to your protein shake or whatever and right back to normal living. This is just a process, and the road at first might be bumpy because you feel like once you've fallen off the wagon, you have to start all over again, but you don't. You just need to pick up where you are and go from there each day, and hopefully things will get better and better. A lot of this whole process of being able to get control of your cravings is a mindset, and you need to feel like you're taking care of yourself. If you feel like you're deprived, your body's always going to be, your willpower is always going to be limited. So you have a limited time to create you. So you need to really work like you don't need money, and you need to love like you've never been hurt. And you need to be willing to dance when nobody's watching and take a risk. Use your talents and abilities that you have to make a change in the way your lifestyle is going, and I guarantee you'll lose weight. So once you're ready to start, first you need to kind of prepare for a 24 to 48 hour liquid fast. During that time, I recommend you use maybe some emergency to kind of help you balance your electrolytes in your blood. You don't want to get weak. I really like the salt in my diet, so when I'm kind of fasting, sometimes I'll take a little bit of a broth, just some chicken broth in water and drink it warm. And that really gets me through. Plus there's a little bit of flavor in it, and so that I don't feel like I'm so raw inside. It gives my stomach some waters as well. So once you're through testing, you'll want to try eliminating all of the processed foods in your diet and just focus on 100% nutrient-rich veggies, legumes, meats, and just fresh foods that have enzymes in them are best. So you'll be testing them, and by testing them, I mean you'll be adding them back into your diet after your fast on a limited basis, not everything at once, but just like, say, when you're bringing your new baby into the world, you don't just, give them a 4-course meal. You try carrots, and if they do well with that, you add some green beans and maybe some fruit, and then you maybe try a little bit of, when they're 6 months old, try a few grains. So as you go through your days, you want to really limit yourself to the foods that you're eating, but always eat, and so that your body can detox, and also test how you're doing with the food. If you get a headache, or if you get nausea or bloating, you need to reduce that food and add foods that you're feeling good on. One of the reasons we want to get off the processed foods is because of the additives in them. Vanillin is a product that's really popular, that is used in a lot of cookies and sweets, and it triggers headaches and neurological issues. And in some states, they've even eliminated, and they don't sell the Oreo cookie because it has the most appetite stimulants in it that any food, including high fructose corn syrup, that any food can have. This is the little man that figured it out. I'm sure it wasn't behind him to make everybody sick, but he certainly wanted to make a lot of money, because vanillin is a lot cheaper to make than normal vanilla. And it's actually got byproducts of wood pulp in it, and it's used in a lot of foods. Sweeteners that really don't work well for people that are trying to lose weight are the artificial sweeteners. And the refined sugar is empty calories, but the better sweeteners, if you do use them, would be raw honey, which I still use some of, maple, agave, and I make low sugar jams, and occasionally I use those, but they do trigger my cravings when I'm trying to lose weight. So I try to stay completely off the sweeteners when I'm reducing my calories for weight loss. The best sweetener is, of course, just a little fresh fruit, not even juice. Juice is full of sugar. You want to reduce your sugars. Monosodium glutamate, MSG, is just also in a lot of salad dressings and frozen entrees and Chinese food, including canned vegetables. And, it triggers a lot of stomach problems. People often usually get bloating from it. Grandpa Wainwright at the bakery used to add a lot of it to his soups. He went through it by the barrel full. So people that are in the food business use this stuff to make their food really tasty. Understanding fats is a real important thing for people that are watching their intake in calories, because certain fats are beneficial to our health and others are like plastic. So trans fats, things that are found in pastries and deep fried foods, desserts and things, really hold the food up well. They're whipped fats. They take a polyunsaturated fat like safflower oil or palm oil, and they whip it until it has a different hydrogen in it. And at that point, you can make a cake, like, say, the kind of cake you might buy at Costco or Sam's Club, and that's going to stay that shape. You can cut it and put it out in your yard and let it sit there for a year, and it will not lose that shape. So it's really good for people that, want to save their Twinkies and stuff. I mean, for a year on their shelf. This is the bottom line, not good for you. Coconut oil is a saturated fat, and butter, but your body can use these. In the diet that I'm talking about, I would recommend using butter and coconut oil, or mono, you know, polysaturated fats like olive, or monosaturated fats like one oil, like um, olive oil, almond oil, uh, extra virgin oil, which is cold pressed so that there's more flavonoids and stuff in it, or just maybe a safflower oil or something you can use to cook with, but limiting the amount of fats you use and making sure the fats that you get are the ones that you choose, like vegetable fats. Fresh meat is really important because of the nitrates and the way salts help you hold on to water. A lot of times when you're trying to reduce your weight, if you eat a lot of salty foods or lunch meats or bacon, it will kind of swell up your gut, kind of like even when you drink soda, you do this because of the salts in it. And so the nitrates really make you hold on to a lot of preservatives in your body, and these are really hard to get out. So I would recommend staying with fresh foods. So you can clean out your pantry and get rid of the things that are going to give you headaches or stomach aches, or that you don't do well with, that you might be using to please the crowd or your children. Try to limit the treats that you give to your children or grandchildren, or the people in your life that are around you, by spending a little more money and taking them out to a treat where you can make a healthy choice and they can get something that's not going to bring you into like raiding your cupboard at 9 o'clock at night because you didn't quite eat enough, and going from there. I would pick a day when you can start and get some groceries. Maybe start with things that you can for sure eat that'll be in your fridge. Don't buy a lot because you're just going to be testing one food at a time. So you might want to, cut up cauliflower, carrots, put some broccoli in there, onions, things you're going to do well with, and then start adding, layering things like maybe some potatoes or sweet potatoes, or some carbs just a little bit down the road after you've really started to build up a cleansing pattern. And I really recommend beets, carrots, green beans, some of these really light, low calorie, full of complex fiber, so that as they're going through your system, and celery's like this as well, your body is drawing, that's a fly, I'm not raising my hand. Your body is drawing nutrients for the couple of hours in between your testing. I put berries there because with fruits, you want to be very careful. If I'm eating very carefully, and it's summertime and I've got a lot of fruits around, these fruits will really keep the candida and other bacteria in my gut fed, and then I just keep craving. So limit your fruit to maybe one serving a day, and berries, really low sugar apples, or maybe some grapes, but not, like a lot of bananas or pineapple or watermelon, or really sugary fruits that you would be wanting a lot of. I really think berries are good because of the superfood that they are. There's so many benefits to it: low sugar and lots of fiber, low calories, and yet sweet. I recommend trying a green drink. I use this when I'm not feeling well, or when I'm trying to reduce my food intake and trying to extend my period of fasting. All of you know what this periodic fasting is, and I recommend eating within about an 8-hour period of your day. So starting, say, at 9 and ending at 5. Don't eat later into the evening. Make sure that you get your calories in during the time of day where you're really using the calories, and not stockpiling at night before you go to sleep, when your gut should be processing the food out and getting it through your stomach without having it back up into your throat while you're trying to sleep, which is what happens with acid reflux. So when you first wake up in the morning, it's really good to have something cleansing that helps your blood and your, just helps the detoxing and gets the oxidation out of your body from what you've done at night, and kind of finishes off your digestive cycle. So in the morning, you'll be, purging and getting cleansed for the next day. And so a lot of liquids, 32 to 40 ounces of fluid would be great in the morning. I take 16 ounces of water, add some celery and a little bit of parsley, blend it, put it through a strainer, and drink that. And you can also make ice cubes out of it and put it in your blender drink if you don't get time to drink it first thing in the morning. But celery is very detoxing and good for you, and it helps you balance your acids in your stomach. And so your cravings are reduced for the day, as well as your stomach acids are balanced. So in the morning, you need to get some exercise. I recommend walking, even if it's just for 5 or 10 minutes. Anytime that you do that is really good. Get your arms moving, get them up above your head, beat your hands back and forth. If you can get on an exercise ball and roll back and forth, do a few sit-ups. I recommend tightening your core, doing some plank, getting your green drink, and eating maybe 2 to 3 hours after you get up if possible. Those are just some suggestions. I also recommend some breathing exercises. I'm just going to take a couple of seconds here to show you that. So breathe in, and then breathe in a little bit more and hold. Expand those lungs. You can kind of feel it right up here at the base of your throat. It's just right in your chest. And at that point, let it out. You can feel yourself, your brain get that oxygen. Now, first thing in the morning, or when you're trying to get out of bed and you really want to wake up, pull that air in and get that direct, brain oxygen level up, and you'll feel better about getting out of bed and being motivated for the day. And it also helps you with your focus, thinking about your body, pulling your stomach muscles in, framing your day in who you are and what you want to do and what you want to achieve for that day, and keeping your focus on eating simply. I do recommend a supportive protein drink. I use the doTERRA shake, Slim and Sassy, 16 ounces of water, some coconut almond milk, a little bit of chia seeds. 2 tablespoons is quite a bit of calories, but it's good, a lot of protein as well as fats in it. And I add spinach for greens. Sometimes I add a little bit of brewer's yeast for added vitamin B. And I do like to use apple cider vinegar where I can, because of the benefits for your digestive system. I take digestive enzymes as well, and I'll share that with you here in a minute. But I just recommend getting a little shake. I don't do this all the time, but I need this supplemental help when I don't have food prepared, or when I just need that routine of good, healthy food without a lot of calories. I recommend a good B complex. I'm using the Lifelong Vitality Kit, which provides me with that, as well as Terrazyme, Phytoterra, which basically builds your gut and helps your body break down that little bit of food that sometimes gets backed up and causes, your liver and whatnot to not work as well. I really love the fact that Lifelong Vitality has milk thistle in it, and it helps balance that, keep those liver ducts functioning well. I use PB Assist, and it helps to build a healthy gut and keep my cravings down so that I can fight off infection. And when you don't have enough of the good flora in your stomach, your body uses, rather than just the digestive enzymes, it uses your metabolic enzymes. And those are the enzymes that help you keep healthy and well. So by giving that good supplement to your gut, you're going to feel a lot better and be able to fight bacteria and virus off, which is really important in our day and age. Zendocrine is a detoxification capsule that is a protocol that doTERRA offers for those that need extra cleansing. And I recommend that for those that are trying to lose weight, because it will help really eliminate some of the garbage that we develop in that backed up ship as we break down our body and don't quite provide it with the all of the things that it needs. It just, the sludge that backs up in the pipes and whatnot, it's just gone. So the next thing I just say, if you want to be like me and go to a doctor, which is what I want to do, somebody will just manage everything for me, somebody that really knows their stuff. They cost so much money. I've checked with a doctor just for your initial blood tests to help you with your autoimmune difficulties like I have. It's $500. This is so inexpensive. And this is going directly into your health. You're slim and sassy. That shake will last you more than a month. Your gum, if you need something to chew on, the Slim and Sassy gum is $8.50. And when you're out and about and you're getting a craving that you can't manage, if you quickly pop that gum in your mouth, that balancing those hormones and those enzymes that your body needs to stay balanced it regulates your blood sugar so fast that you can make that decision responsibly rather than being so driven to, get some French fries and a Coke at the store. I never do that, but my husband does. Ratting on him here. The Lifelong Vitality Kit is just foundational. I highly recommend this foundational support, and I couldn't think of a better one on the planet. I wouldn't be talking about it or sharing it with you if I didn't have full confidence in the value of that supplement. And PB Assist, $20. I spent $29 to $30 on a monthly enzyme probiotic, which was recommended to me by a gastrointestinal specialist years ago. And it just gives me a lot more bloating than this one. This one gets way down deeper into the intestines. It's double encapsulated, and I love it. And I recommend using it daily. The Slim and Sassy drops will be great to keep in the kitchen. When you're going in to prepare food and you're hungry, you start eating all of your calories before you even get your food prepared. And I know this from experience, so I recommend having it in your kitchen and putting a little bit of water, maybe about a half a cup, and no, even a fourth of a cup, and a drop or two of Slim and Sassy, and swigging it down. You don't want to spread it around in the water. All it does is collects on the side of your cup. I don't want you to waste any of that oil. I want you to get it in your mouth. I do recommend putting lemon in your water and drinking it throughout the day, and that flavors your water really well, but lemon is a lot less expensive than Slim and Sassy. The grapefruit oil is very precious because of the value that it has to people to help them balance and to, feel good. Slim and Sassy will take you when you're craving food and balance you out and give you an extra 10 or 20 minutes before you start to feel hungry again. And sometimes we need that. Terrazyme is the digestive enzymes that our body, all of us need it. Even children, I believe, need Terrazymes. They get backed up. A lot of times children are when they're going to the bathroom, you can tell by how hard it is how difficult a time their body is having because they don't eat enough fresh foods. They just don't get the enzymes they need. So getting Terrazyme in your gut, at least in the morning and at night, if possible, is my recommendation. And it will help your gut and your health, your brain, your health so much. Your body needs this, including to help destroy the toxins and just break down food particles that are backed up. It's $37 without your LRP. LRP is your loyalty rewards. P is for your loyalty rewards products, I guess. But when you order monthly from doTERRA, these enzymes are something you can add on to your monthly vitamins for $20. So, and that's why you get them for such a good deal. Normally they're $37. So I only recommend getting them in connection with your vitamins. It just saves you so much money. It's so cost effective. The grapefruit is good to have, as well as turmeric if you have difficulty with pain in your body. That's a good one for $28. I really recommend that. And then there are Terra greens, and I've yet to try them, but I'm going to recommend those because a lot of people don't want to blend up celery and parsley every day. And this is another way to get your really low fat greens down and high nutrients. So if your ship is ready to, revamp and you might be broken down, I guarantee within a short amount of time, Greg, who is not easy to sell on anything, was feeling a lot better off his blood pressure medicine, off an antidepressant, because his brain wasn't doing well with his leaky gut situation. He's been a soda pop drinker for a long time, and it took some time for him. But I noticed the improvements right away. And I cannot tell you how grateful I am to have another chance to work through things with him and to see him feeling better. It's just, I'm caregiver and it's so wonderful for me as his companion to be the person that has helped him make the changes that he's needed. So we all just need to stop our cravings, to get our weaknesses, get off our chemicals, and keep cleansing our gut and be able to build one another, take time to help each other on that process. So the other diets like keto out there, I wouldn't say as a lifestyle diet, being a person in nutrition that I am. Carbs are good for you. You just need to, when you're losing, you need to manage those real carefully and make sure that you're using vegetables for your carbs and using fresh meats and things that will help you stay. And I'm not a vegetarian, but I do eat a lot of vegetables when I'm detoxing and losing weight, and when I'm not. It's just my food of choice. They've been really good to me. I wash them, clean them, cook them, eat them, cut them up and eat them raw too. So what is possible if you get well and stay well? And what is the cost if you don't? You need to combine your foods differently. There's nobody that can replace you and the mission that you have and the things that you have to do. And for me, as a faithful person, I think the Lord knows us, and he knows how long we have and what we need to do. And he really wants us to do our part. These physical bodies we have are a gift, and we need to stay strong and healthy to be able to do the things we need to do. I gave you a protein shake. This is a great recipe for those of you that are starting on cleansing diets. Just maybe you could try peppers, see if you do well with peppers, onions, try some butternut squash, try a little bit of cumin, try some cinnamon in your foods, try a good vegetable broth, and then cook your vegetables, blend them up, and use that as kind of the base, and then add some other foods to it, like here's some beet greens. Maybe the next day you might want to cook up some quinoa, try some quinoa. Why do I say quinoa? Oh, it's a superfood, guys. It's got high protein, it's got really great fiber, and it's not a ground up flour, it's a whole food. So I have this recipe that I'm going to share with all of you and others. If there's, I think that's my last one, so I'm just going to stop share here. So if there's other recipes that I have throughout my Eat to Live classes that I can share with you, I will. I believe that the main thing with Eat to Live is, gosh, you just need to cook vegetables and eat them raw. I mean, sometimes cook them and test them, sometimes eat them raw. I started with celery, 2 pieces of celery, and I'm like, wow, I'm going to be hungry in 10 minutes. But those 2 pieces of celery held me for almost 2 hours. The next food I tried was carrots. I tried cooked carrots, I tried them raw, and they held me for a couple hours. And I'm just saying a cup, I'm not eating a lot of them either. So you can provide yourself with, there's apples over there on my counter. Some apples might be another food that you test. And so you're eating more frequently, but you're getting, you're testing your foods. And this process is going to take you a little while to do. You don't have to do it in a day or a week, I would say your food testing should last you for about 3 weeks. After about 3 weeks, you will start dropping weight. You'll start plateauing. Your body has to detox to lose weight. If you're starting to detox and then your body puts out some chemicals, say you've been eating a lot of Dorito chips, and all of a sudden you've got all these Dorito chip chemicals in your body. There are food additives to those. And you really want some chips and you start eating them again. Well, you've got to get those chemicals out. Those cravings are coming from your fat that's being released into your system when you detox. So that weakness that you feel isn't really not hunger, it's cravings. And once you get rid of those cravings and you're just eating real foods, you have more control than you ever dreamed of. If you've never been in that state, trust me, believe me, it can be done. Greg and I did it, and we both were able to feel well when we paid for our clinical health institute. Is from where I learned to, do food testing. So if you have any other questions, I'm happy to help you stay on there, but I'm going to end this Zoom and just thank you for hopping on and wish you lots of help de-junking your kitchen, getting out the foods that are your craving vices and replacing it with things that are really simple, pure foods that you can work on and do some good, healthy stuff. So have fun in your adventures of debunking your chip from your life gunk.